Computer. Good early evening, everyone. This is Joni with the Paperback Exchange Bookstore, 6412 Ridge Road. And we are here this evening, and we have the honor again, twice in 1 month, of having author RYANN DESOUZA here with us. And because she read her book last time, we want to do a proper author interview. So welcome, RYANN. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. I'm doing a little bit of a Facebook.
Yep, we're going to check and make sure it's all getting pumped out properly here on our Facebook pages. There we are. We'll tag you in that later. All right, we're good. So welcome. And we have a line of children's books here. RYANN is also a family therapist out in California. We love to celebrate our local authors, and luckily RYANN has friends and family in this area. So I hope you're safe out in California. I hope you're not anywhere near the fires out there. But we've got a great line of books here, along co-authored and illustrated by RYANN, along with Sharon Stadowski. And we've got Jay and the Enchanted Bush. And these are all about kids' different emotions and how to deal with them. So it's hard to make friends sometimes. So we've got Aurora makes friends, and we have the Spanish version as well. My mirror thing going here. Aurora hace amigos. We have Belle and her anger. I'm particularly interested in that. How I was raised. I was raised by if you scream the loudest, you win. So this one hit home for me, right? And then the most recent, which I don't have a for sale copy yet, but I have a predestined copy of The Green Ghost. So tell us about your books, and how did you get started? What made you decide to write these books about kids' emotions?
Okay, that's a great question. Oh, I think I froze on my end.
I can still hear you though.
So did I freeze on your end?
Yep, you're a little frozen.
Looks like I'm taking a little bit of a nap.
we hope you get reanimated soon. Let's see here. Let me
That's usually my luck when we're trying to get something done.
Here we go. It's doing something. Now it went black. Oh. Let's see. Can I re-up this video? Make you the host. Put in the waiting room. Well, we were doing so good. All right. Are you still there?
I am still here.
All right. I'm going to stop the video end of it on your side.
Okay.
And now I am going to how do I start the video? Uh-oh, here you are. Participants. And we're going to turn your video back on. Ask to start video. There you are. There you go. Well, let's try that again. So welcome. And we got that part taken care of. What made you decide to write this wonderful bunch of kids' books about different kids' emotions?
Well, years ago when I was an intern, just starting out, getting hours towards my licensure, I was in the process. I worked with a lot of kids and families for various reasons, for various issues. And I was starting a children's book kind of series. And there were very few children's books, at least for me to find easily. I mainly would get a lot of my books from the Highlights magazine. So at the time, while I was going to grad school, I was also a nanny. And one of the kiddos two of the kiddos I nannied were going to this preschool where they would do like the little book fair and then the highlights. So I'd always grab the Highlights magazine, order, and then hand it off to the teacher. And that's how I kind of started my kind of therapeutic, what I call therapeutics, social skills stories.
Were you just going for the hidden picture thing, or were you reading the whole book? because that's what I went for on highlights. I went for the hidden picture thing. That's what drew me into it. And then, you know, you got the other stuff because it was there in front of you, right?
Yeah. So it wasn't the magazine, it was the catalog with the kids' books. So we didn't have they didn't give us the magazines. That would have been cool. And it would have been plain. No, it's just like the catalog they hand off to kids.
Gotcha.
A lot of the time they give them to like elementary school kids or to preschools. So I would order a lot of my books, and I started ordering some, and there were some really good ones, like about, you know, loving yourself, being okay with being different, grief and death, and manners and different social skills type of things. Really great, but it took like years for me to just collect like 20 different books with different topics. And this is like pre-Amazon, by the way. So this wasn't like where I can just go on Amazon and look up kids.
Yeah. You couldn't just have a list of go-to books held somewhere in Amazon. You had to really search them out bookstore by bookstore, catalog by paper catalog, right? So tell us about your characters. You're immersed in it, right? You're studying to be a family therapist. You're being a nanny. You're searching books that you can use on your kids. Now, how did you come about with this cast of characters with your cats and your ghosts and all that?
So, well, first start with the ghosts, because that's pretty easy. Sorry, you can't really see them that well, because I realized when I was making the background, there we go, cut off, so did some of the cats. So the ghosts, so this is actually my stepmom, Sharon, story. So she wrote these when she was 9 and 10 years old. So growing up, she'd read them to a lot of people, and a lot of people were interested in the stories and have always encouraged her to get them published. Well, The Green Ghost is one of her stories, one of my favorites.
And this one is her story too, right?
Yeah, that was our first collaborative book, and that's about a little boy and a girl, and they find this enchanted bush, and that one's about like friendship and appreciation of childhood. It's not very long like the other ones are. The Green Ghost, they definitely elaborated more on. I added a good 30 to 40% more to her original story. And that's about like,
so for older kids that you can keep their attention a little bit longer, not the toddlers, right? What do you say age wise most of your books cover?
So age wise, anyone that can either read them, or an adult that can read them to a child. So if it's a toddler that's like 2 or 3, but they have a decent attention span to listen for like 5 or 10 minutes. And you can always break up the books as well. Like you can read like half of the book, go to bed, like story time, you know.
Give the kids something to look forward to throughout the day.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be a book you have to read all at once, but they all do have stories, like kind of a learning lesson. So with The Green Ghost, it's about like being an immigrant from another planet and trying to fit in, friendship, acceptance, all of that stuff. And loss as well. It's about loss and grief as well, because they lost their planet. They had to move to a whole new planet that they're unaware of. And so I think it's a great learning lesson where kids and adults alike can really possibly can't think of words today, relate to them. I know.
And all of those subjects are so very important right now, right? It's all the people that are different, you know, because even though we're all kind of stuck at home, right? We're all not going out as much. We still have to have empathy for other different types of people. And these are all heavy hitters, all of those different emotions, you know, and things that we need to learn. Well, who can best benefit from your books right now as they stand?
Pretty much all kids. I mean, if a teenager wants to read it as well, mainly the books are meant for caregivers, adults, teachers, therapists.
Great books for story hours if you're doing one at your local drag queen story hour, if you're doing one at your local library. Helps kids really talk about their emotions.
Yeah.
And gives them the words and the tools to do it, right?
In back of all the stories, there's critical thinking questions, and there's an actual glossary for the feeling word definitions. So what it is I put really big feeling words in there on purpose so that you can expand on your feelings vocabulary. A lot of kids and even teenagers and adults I work with currently, and even in past, had trouble coming up with accurate feelings that they were feeling. And
Or the word for it, right? So we've got acceptance, ashamed, downtrodden, which is a pretty big word to be thrown at little kids. But they need to hear it, even if it doesn't click. They've still heard it. It's familiar in one way, even if they don't know the complete meaning. And then we've got questions in the back. How do you make friends? What do you like about yourself? Which is something a lot of people don't sit down and start talking about themselves, which is important because then you understand how you relate with other people. How do you adapt to new situations? So a little bit of expectation jumbling right around. Wonderful. And what can you best say? What best advice can you give families, especially now that we're all kind of cooped up together with all of your mental health background? What's the best thing you can tell them so they're not getting, I guess, for a lack of a better term, cabin fever?
I think being able to have an array of different activities, obviously outside activities that are safe and that can be fun. Books are a great way to sit down and have some time. Like I said, with these books, these are a nice book where you, an adult, can sit with a child and bring up topics that the kiddo may not even think about bringing up, or may bring up a time that they never really told the parent or the caregiver or adult therapist person. And so these books kind of help open up a dialogue between the caregiver, therapist, teacher to the child. So
they make it relatable to something maybe in their real lives, right?
Like with the cats. So you were asking earlier about the cats. So the cats are actually all based off cats that I have had in my life. So my current kitties are
You got them in the background there.
there, and
Aurora. See Aurora down
she,
there. And Belle, I see Belle up there. And who's this little guy with the kind of deer in the headlights look? Who's this little guy with the
one? Butter.
No, the little guy with the green eyes behind your. He's looking. He's looking. Yeah.
Belle is a kitten. So there, Butterscotch is a kitten, and then so that's if you open up to the beginning part, there's actually the where she's a kitten.
Oh.
Yeah. So
get the big kitty eyes. So do they have their own Facebook or Instagram pages? And let's talk about some of that you've got too back here. So you've got your author page. You do a little bit of design work as well, with the jewelry and things like that. But let's talk about your therapy page here. Let me pull it up and let everybody show it. How long have you been in practice?
In private practice, about 5 years, but as a therapist practicing since my practicum in 2005, and then my internship in 2008.
There you are. rdtherapy.com.
You go to the resources part.
Mm-hmm.
That is where you will find some of the books.
Wonderful. Here's all your books. And look there, we've got the Paperback Exchange Bookstore listed right there. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And along with that, here at the Paperback Exchange, obviously you can find your books on Amazon. Everybody's are on Amazon these days. Where else can we find your books at?
At my therapy offices. So I have an office in Point Richmond currently and an office in Burlingame. If things go right, I might have a third office in Santa Rosa.
Or do you do online therapy as well for folks that are out of town?
Yes, I do online therapy. Currently, I see all my clients online right now.
Yeah, it seems to be the way things are going right now, huh?
Until the indoor masks are lifted for healthcare workers.
And here we are at RMD Designs with your artwork, because you are the illustrator as well, and showing some other places that you've got your books showcased in the California area. Do you have a, oh, there we are. You're at the Paperback Exchange. Are you anywhere else here in this area as well?
You know, I was trying my hardest. You are the lucky individual at this time.
Well, we'll try to spread the love around here. We know there's a couple of new bookstores that have actually popped up in the last 2 months. So that's good to hear. Bookstores not shutting down. Well, it is the a perfect way to have you on here to wrap up National Mental Health Month, which is August. Is there a significance for it being August? Do you know? I'm just curious. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
You want me to be honest, or do you want me to lie?
No, I want you to be honest. What's the significance of it?
Sure, it was the available month.
Okay, it's not like the hottest, most worst mental health month of the year or anything. It was just available. Okay, that's fair. That's good. You don't want to trump on anybody else's month.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
We are also here involved in the Out of the Darkness walk. Are you involved in any nonprofits along with your books, or can we throw up some links that way?
Go up to the RMD Designs page on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
She just started a nonprofit for art therapy with kids, and so what she's putting together, if you go to the posts, that's Instagram.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Here on Facebook.
Scroll down. Yes. Up. Other way. Go down. Sorry. Go down. There you go. My Good Brain. So that colleagues nonprofit she just started, and so it's a Sunday art club, and so I actually donated some books to her nonprofit to put in the art box for the kiddos. So I'm be working on a coloring book. I am working on a therapeutic communications book that providers and therapists can use, but also self-help for just the regular person as well. And then I'm also continuing my art therapy research, and hopefully at some point I will be publishing my art therapy activities along with the research that I've been working on. So wish me luck.
So we've got making friends, we have making friends and loss, we've got anger, we've got feeling different. What's next on the horizon? Do you have any other plans for the next emotion that you're going to try to tackle?
Down here, Max, we're going to be talking about grief and loss. So that's going to be my
very
next
important right now, right?
Character of that one. The Green Ghost does talk about loss as well and some grief, but this one's going to be a little bit different grief as well with Max. And then there's going to be one with Daisy and Sable, the kittens that I have currently. After the Max book, we're going to be doing one on probably sibling rivalry and getting along, taking turns.
I've got 4 sisters if you need any input.
Yeah, I have an older sister and a couple other siblings. My older sister was a bully. She will disagree.
My 2 middle sisters are only like 13 months apart, so they're like what we'd call twins by proxy. So they either loved or hated each other. You didn't want to interfere with any of that. Well, that's wonderful. And maybe something coming out here at the for Christmas. One of those will be ready Christmas time.
Max will hopefully be ready for Christmas. This little guy down here. And also they're going to be in different languages. So you have Aurora Hace Amigos, Spanish translation. My friend and colleague Roxandra, she is the one that translated that story into Spanish, and she translated The Green Ghost in Spanish, and also Belle and Her in Spanish. And then Aurora Makes Friends is also going to be translated in Japanese. So my friend Kaori translated that. And so I'm just working on getting those books.
Any words that don't translate back and forth that you're having to do a rewrite with on any of the languages?
They do the rewrite and they do their best to put in a word that's similar to the other words. So
Well, wonderful. I've got something that I like to do with my authors. I do what's called a little speed round. I give you two choices and you have to pick one, okay? And then we'll say our la la or our ha-has and goodbyes. All right, so our speed round for RYANN DESOUZA, children's author, jewelry designer, illustrator extraordinaire. Here we go. IQ or EQ?
IQ.
Charlie or Willy Wonka?
Willy Wonka.
This one's easy. Disney or Marvel?
Disney.
And I knew that was Bloom or doll?
Bloom.
Cats or dogs?
I like both, but cats.
Tolerance or acceptance?
Acceptance.
High functioning or dysfunctional?
We're all a little bit dysfunctional. So
we're all kind of high functioning, dysfunctional, right?
yeah.
Read aloud or to yourself?
Read aloud's fine. That's entertaining.
Freud or Jung?
Young.
And here's the ever important one. Be careful how you answer this. Paperback or hardback?
Paperback.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Very well done. Very well done. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We will be adding some links into the chat on Facebook Live. We will also be copying this over to our YouTube channel. So if you want to share it out or if you want to ask any questions, you can certainly ask there. We'll be checking in periodically. You can definitely get your RYANN's books here at the Paperback Exchange. If you're far away, you can order them here. We can ship them to you, or you can order them off of RYANN's website. We'll be adding those links as well. But we wish you all, and especially RYANN, the best of mental, emotional, and physical health during this crazy time. And thank you so much. Sleep less, read more. And what do we say? Wash your hands.
Mask when you're.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. All right.